Now think about that. John the Baptist, no one was known better in the whole region. They lived in Israel. I've been in Israel, when we can go back 35, 40 years in Israel. And nobody paved the way like John the Baptist. When he met Yeshua in the womb, he leapt. And yet he had a wineskin and a baptism that was of one dimension, and he kept saying a new baptism was coming and a new wineskin was coming. And then after he kept, because John had a simple message, just repent, you snake. It wasn't some big, deep message. And people would grab hold of it. And they would go out there. Well, when Jesus went out to get baptized, John looked at him and said, you don't even fit this message. I know who you are. And yet, the Lord himself said, unless I get baptized into your wineskin and the baptism you're carrying, I can't activate the one that's coming. Well, see, every season there's a time like that where all of a sudden you're at that moment where something has to happen. And remember when Yeshua got baptized, he came up, and as he came up, the heavens opened. We sang about it tonight. Caused the heavens to open. Caused the Lord to speak. Caused the recognition of his next phase to occur. See, he was known as rabbi. He was known as a carpenter. He was an incredible teacher. But he was all of a sudden at that moment released in to the next phase of demonstration of Mashiach, the Messiah. For 3 years, he faced the devil off for 40 days. And then for 3 years, he demonstrated the Father. See, that's why when he went back to Nazareth, they couldn't handle it. Because they were so familiar with who he had been up till he was 30, those familial spirits and familiar spirits, his father and mother, his brothers there, the people of Nazareth, even he couldn't demonstrate miracles. That's what atmospheres can do. And because they couldn't see him for who he was now. See, all of a sudden you're shifting into who you are now. When it doesn't matter that you're 90. If you're still breathing, you're shifting into who you are now. These kids up here dancing, doesn't matter how young they are. This year is a shift, and it's a kingdom shift. So that means lots of conflict. And I love what Yeshua, finally, John got delusioned over some things. And he sent his disciples, because only 2 of his disciples went with Yeshua, Philip and Andrew. And he sent these disciples that stayed with him to come and really ask Yeshua, are you really the one we looking for? And I love what the Lord said to him. He said, well, tell John that if he has doubt that I'm the one, let me paraphrase, at least believe the prophecies that he spoke. Because all those prophecies, I'm doing them right now. Now, we're at that place also. All of a sudden, all those prophecies that have been spoken, we are going to shift in the next several months into a demonstration of those prophecies. And you're going to have to say, remember that was said. Remember that was spoken. And see, think about a house like this house, where the whole house has revolved around prophetic dimensions being spoken. Think about what's dwelling in the atmosphere here, and all of a sudden what's going to hit when the kingdom explosion comes into the atmosphere here. All those prophecies. See, that's what Yeshua was telling John. And he said, you know, he's been the greatest up till now, but the least in the kingdom will be greater. Then he prophesied. Now, the real war comes over life and wholeness. Because, see, life is in the blood. His Spirit inhabits your blood. His Spirit unlocks the glory of Him and how He knit inside of you a glory. See, Psalm 16 even says this, that each one of us carry a glory. Now, I want you to get a hold of that. You might not live it, you might not demonstrate it, but it was put in you when you were formed. And what's going to begin to happen is this glory is starting to be unlocked. Experiencing His glory. Embracing His glory. And all of a sudden you're going to be walking along and it's going to be like a volcano shaking in you. Because there's a glory realm that's in you that He's going to start unlocking. Now this is going to have great, great effect.